testimony shouldn't be taking this long.
It's going to take as long as it takes.
I don't understand how Rick can do this. I mean, he claims to have loved Elizabeth at one point in his life, and now he's forcing her to swear in open court that she was unfaithful to Lucky. What?
Mrs. Spencer, by your own admission, you slept with Jason Morgan in August of last year. 9 months later, your son Jake was born. So I will ask you again. Is Jason Morgan, the defendant, the father of your son?
My baby's father is my husband, Lucky Spencer.
You seem fairly certain that Jason Morgan is not your child's father. Did you take a paternity test?
Your Honor, how is any of this relevant to the disappearance of Lorenzo Alcazar?
I've allowed this line of questioning because it goes to bias in favor of the defendant. However, the district attorney appears to be straying from the topic. Wrap it up, Mr. Lansing.
Did you take a paternity test?
Yes.
And it is your testimony that this test clearly indicates that it is Lucky who is your child's father.
Yes.
Yet you still maintained a relationship with Jason Morgan.
Jason is a close friend, as I have already stated. He's kind, loyal. He saved me and all the other Metro Court hostages, including your lover and stepdaughter, Samantha McCall.
Just answer the question, Mrs. Spencer.
Your Honor, with all due respect, Mr. Lansing didn't ask me a question. He made a comment which implied the worst about my friendship with Jason Morgan, and I would like everyone here to understand what kind of person Jason is. I was grateful when he risked his life to bring my son home to me after he had been kidnapped. But really, it doesn't surprise me that he did that because that's what Jason does for his friends.
Yes, we're referring to the time that Mr. Morgan jumped bail on first-degree murder.
Yes, and the fact that he was able to save my son's life when the PCPD couldn't even find him.
Would you say that you are inclined to think the best of Mr. Morgan, maybe even be biased in his favor?
Objection, argumentative.
I'm sorry, I'll rephrase. Mrs. Spencer, has your testimony been accurate and truthful in regards to the visit that Mr. Morgan paid you on the afternoon of May 23rd and the phone call that he received while in your presence?
Here is the truth, once again, Mr. Lansing. Yes, Jason came to visit me in the hospital because he is my friend. And during the course of that visit, he received a phone call. He said he would take care of it, and then he left. End of story. That is what this trial is supposed to be about. And no matter how much pain you cause, or how many people you deliberately hurt, that is my statement. And nothing you say, or imply, or twist around is going to change it.
Spencer, has Jason Morgan ever received phone calls in your presence before?
Yes.
Does he generally explain the nature of those phone calls to you?
No.
So other than the day at the hospital, has Jason Morgan ever received a phone call and then left?
Yes.
So it didn't seem unusual to you?
No, not at all.
At any point, before, during, or after that phone call, did Mr. Morgan say the name Lorenzo Alcazar?
No, he did not.
Thank you. No further questions for this witness. I do reserve the right to recall this witness, Your Honor.
We've all had a very long day, and this seems a logical place to stop. You may step down, Mrs. Spencer. Court is adjourned until tomorrow morning.
Yeah, did she tell you that Rick put Elizabeth on the stand and forced her to admit she slept with me and Lucky was sitting right there?
She said it was pretty rough.
Well, it was rough and had nothing to do with Alcazar at all. Rick put Elizabeth on trial for sleeping with me. And then he asked flat out if Jake is my son.
Okay, it's a murder trial, right? And you know Rick's gonna fight dirty because he wants to win. I don't think it was so much to torture Elizabeth. He wanted you to blow up.
Yeah, and I did blow up.
Diane told me.
Yeah, and then I had to sit there and watch while that bastard ripped Elizabeth's life apart.
The truth should have just come out from the beginning. Now, I'm curious. Why did Elizabeth lie on the stand and say that Jake isn't your son?
I know I hurt you today. I'm sorry.
No, you're not. You're thrilled you made Jason look bad. You don't care about anything else. Not Lucky's pain. Not my privacy. Because that's the type of person you are. Cruel. Self-righteous. You want what you want, and you're willing to do anything to get it.
I did my job.
In a weird way, I'm kind of relieved. Because I can finally see you for who you really are. A spiteful little man who is still mad at his brother.
This has nothing to do with Sonny.
Please. Where would you be without Sonny? Not in Port Charles. Not in this courtroom. You certainly wouldn't be DA. And now I can finally understand and accept why just about everybody in my life warned me to stay away from you. You're pathetic.
Don't blame me, Elizabeth. Blame yourself.
If there was ever a time for Elizabeth to admit that you're Jake's father, it would have been today on the stand.
Lucky was sitting right there in the courtroom.
Yeah, but you know what? The damage with Lucky was done once she copped to sleeping with you. And I know it wasn't right for Rick to be badgering her, but you know what? She could have kept this from
For
happening.
all Elizabeth knows, I'm going to be convicted. Why would she admit it right there? I could be going to prison.
You're not going to prison. Listen to me. If Diane can get you out, great. If not, I'm going to do everything I can to set you free, if you know what I'm talking about.
Thank you.
Anything else you need in the meantime?
Please, I'm asking you to make sure Jake is protected, okay?
Mhm.
Rick put him in danger just by suggesting that he's my son.
I'll do what I can. But in the meantime, you want to protect your son, you got to beat these charges and claim Jake as your son.
You know, I will never understand what you see in Jason. I mean, he's a murderer, he's a thug, he nearly beats me to death last fall, and on some level, Elizabeth, you know that he killed Lorenzo Alcazar under Sonny's orders.
No, I don't.
Oh, come on, Elizabeth! Killing people is Jason's profession, and he's good at it. Hell, we may not know how many people he's actually murdered. How do you turn a blind eye to who Jason really is?
I know exactly who he is. The person I failed to see clearly is you. Until now. You're not damaged. You're not flawed like I once thought. You're vindictive. Almost as if you have no soul.
You know, you were my one chance at a good life. A real marriage. I ruined it. I'll admit that. But I loved you. And I kept on loving you. And I tried to help you in so many ways.
You never loved anyone but yourself. It's funny, you're just like Sam that way. So it completely makes sense why the two of you started this whole thing by sleeping together. In fact, you might have time for a quickie right now before they close the courthouse. Enjoy yourselves. You deserve each other.